Every person on Earth knows this face. The platinum hair, the red lips, the laugh that made the whole world feel like it was in on the joke. Marilyn Monroe, the most photographed woman of the 20th century. A face so famous it has been reproduced billions of times. On posters, on t-shirts, on coffee mugs, on the walls of teenagers who weren't born until 40 years after she died. But here is the truth that the image has always hidden. Her name was not Marilyn Monroe. Her name was Norma Jeane, and Hollywood invented Marilyn Monroe, and then destroyed her. She was born on June 1st, 1926, in the charity ward of Los Angeles General Hospital. Her mother, Gladys Baker, was a film negative cutter at a Hollywood studio, one of the invisible people who worked in the machinery of the Dream Factory without ever appearing on screen. Gladys was unstable, paranoid. She would later be diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and committed to a psychiatric institution when Norma Jeane was just 7 years old. Her father, unknown, a name on a birth certificate that most biographers agree was almost certainly not her biological father. From the age of 7, Norma Jeane entered the system. Foster homes, an orphanage, more foster homes. 12 placements in total. 12 different families, 12 different houses. 12 different sets of rules, expectations, and dangers. She later recalled that in one of those homes, she was sexually abused. She developed a stutter that would stay with her for the rest of her life, appearing without warning on film sets, surprising directors who had never heard it before. At the Los Angeles Orphans' Home, where she lived for nearly 2 years, she would pass the RKO studio gates on her way to school. She could see the studio water tower from the orphanage window. She would later say that she used to dream about it. In 1942, when Norma Jeane was 16 years old, her guardian informed her that she would have to return to the orphanage. There was one way out. She married James Doherty, a 21-year-old neighbor, on June 19, 1942. She was 16 years old, not because she was in love, because the alternative was going back. When Doherty shipped out with the Merchant Marine during World War II, Norma Jeane went to work at the Radioplane Munitions Factory in Burbank, making drone aircraft for the military. It was there, in 1945, that an Army photographer named David Conover arrived to photograph female war workers for a morale campaign. He pointed his camera at Norma Jeane, and everything changed. She began modeling. Pin-up work at first, the kind that filled the wallets of soldiers overseas. She was good at it. Instinctively, naturally, terrifyingly good at it. She understood the camera in a way that couldn't be taught. And while the world was looking at the image she was creating, nobody was looking at the woman creating it. That woman, the one behind the image, was reading Dostoyevsky, Chekhov, Tolstoy, Freud, James Joyce. By the time of her death, her personal library contained more than 450 books, many of them annotated, passages underlined, margins filled with her own thoughts. She was, by any honest measure, an intellectual, but Hollywood was not in the market for her intellect. In 1946, Norma Jeane Doherty walked through the gates of 20th Century Fox. She had divorced Doherty. She had bleached her hair. She had a new agent and a new ambition, and a face that made studio executives sit up straight. Fox signed her to a contract, and immediately began the process of turning her into something she wasn't. First, the name. Norma Jeane Mortensen, the name on her birth certificate, was not a star's name. Not glamorous, not memorable. They gave her a new one, Marilyn, after actress Marilyn Miller. Monroe, her mother's maiden name, the one thread of connection to the woman who had abandoned her. Then, the image. The platinum blonde hair, the breathy voice, which she developed deliberately as a tool because she understood exactly what it did to an audience. The walk, the laugh, the particular combination of innocence and sexuality that made men feel powerful and women feel complicated. It was a performance, a construction, the most successful character ever created for the screen, and she was performing it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether the cameras were rolling or not. Fox put her in film after film: The Dumb Blonde, The Naive Beauty, The Decoration, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, How to Marry a Millionaire, The Dumb Blonde Who Wasn't As Dumb As She Looked, a joke she was in on, even if the studio wasn't. How to Marry a Millionaire earned Fox $7 million. Marilyn Monroe's salary at the time, $800 a week. The studio was making millions on her image. She was making enough to pay her rent. And if she objected, if she asked for better roles, better pay, better treatment, the studio had an answer for that too. Darryl F. Zanuck, the head of Fox, a man who had what biographers politely describe as a strong personal dislike of Monroe, made his position clear. She was a body, a commodity, a product. She would play what she was told to play, and she would be grateful for it. She was not grateful. She said later, "Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul." She also said, "An actress is not a machine, but they treat you like one, a money machine." She knew exactly what was happening to her, and she was not going to accept it. In December 1954, Marilyn Monroe did something that no major Hollywood star had done before. She walked away. Fox handed her the script for yet another musical comedy, The Girl in Pink Tights. She read it. She called it trash. She handed it back. Fox suspended her. She didn't care. She packed her bags, left Los Angeles, and moved to New York City. And there, far from the studio gates and Darryl Zanuck and the endless parade of identical blonde roles, she began to build something new. On January 7th, 1955, she stood before a room full of journalists and announced the formation of Marilyn Monroe Productions, Incorporated. She owned 51%. She was the president. She was the second woman in Hollywood history to found her own production company, after Mary Pickford, who had done it in 1919. The press laughed at her. They called her Bernhardt in a bikini. They ran Fox's press releases calling her ungrateful, unprofessional, difficult. She enrolled at the Actors Studio under Lee Strasberg, one of the most respected acting teachers in the world. She studied, she worked, she read. She proved to everyone willing to see it that she was exactly what she had always claimed to be, a serious actress. Fox needed her back. Their profits had dropped. No one they put in her roles could fill the gap she left. After a year of negotiations, a year in which Fox sued her for breach of contract and she held firm, the studio surrendered. The new contract gave her $100,000 per film, control over her scripts, approval over her directors, the right to make films through her own production company. The Los Angeles Mirror ran the headline, "One of the greatest single triumphs ever won by an actress." She had beaten the studio system, publicly, completely. But then she married Arthur Miller. Miller was under investigation by the House Un-American Activities Committee, the same McCarthy-era witch hunt that had destroyed Dalton Trumbo and dozens of others. Monroe stood by him, publicly and without apology. She attended his HUAC hearing. She married him, in part, biographers believe, because her public support may have helped keep him out of prison. His conviction was later overturned. The FBI opened a file on her. 7 years of surveillance, letters, wiretaps, reports on her political associations, her friendships, her travels. They never found what they were looking for, because it wasn't there. The file simply states, in July 1962, Subject's views are very positively and concisely leftist. However, if she is being actively used by the Communist Party, it is not general knowledge among those working with the movement in Los Angeles. In other words, she was watched for 7 years and found guilty of nothing except having opinions. Even with her new contract, even with her production company, even with her hard-won creative control, the system was patient. And Marilyn Monroe, Norma Jeane, was not well. The studio doctors who had prescribed amphetamines to keep her working and barbiturates to help her sleep had left their mark. She had been dependent on pills for years. She suffered from depression, chronic insomnia, severe anxiety. She had wanted children. She had been pregnant at least 3 times during her marriage to Arthur Miller. Every pregnancy had ended in loss, miscarriages, and ectopic pregnancy. She was diagnosed with endometriosis. The pain of it, physical and emotional, never left her. The marriage to Miller collapsed. The Prince and the Showgirl, the film she had fought so hard to make through her own company, was a disappointment. Some Like It Hot, directed by Billy Wilder in 1959, was a triumph. Critics said she deserved an Academy Award nomination. The world agreed. But by 1962, the accumulation of everything, the childhood, the system, the pills, the losses, the surveillance, the loneliness, had taken its toll. In April 1962, she began filming Something's Got to Give for Fox. She was frequently absent. She was ill, genuinely ill, documented illness. But Fox saw only the absences. In June 1962, Fox fired her. The woman who had beaten them, who had won her contract, who had proven herself as a serious actress, who had earned them tens of millions of dollars over 2 decades. Fired. She was rehired weeks later. Negotiations resumed. There were meetings scheduled, appointments made, plans for the future. On the evening of August 4th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe went to bed at her home on 5th Helena Drive in Brentwood, Los Angeles. She did not wake up. The Los Angeles coroner ruled her death a probable suicide, an overdose of barbiturates. She was 36 years old. In the decades that followed, conspiracy theories multiplied. The Kennedys, the CIA, the mob. Murder disguised as suicide. The Los Angeles District Attorney reviewed the case in 1982. No evidence of foul play was found. What the evidence does show, clearly, documented, undeniably, is a woman who had been used by a system from the moment she arrived in it. A woman who had fought back harder than almost anyone. A woman who had won, and then lost, and then won again, and then been discarded. The system did not pull a trigger, but the system built the conditions that made August 4th, 1962 possible. She wanted to be taken seriously as an actress. She wanted to be seen as more than the image they had built around her. She read Dostoyevsky and Chekhov and kept 450 books in her home. She built her own production company and beat one of the most powerful studios in Hollywood. She stood by the man she loved when the government came after him. She stuttered, sometimes, on set, and joked about it. She was Norma Jeane, and 60 years after her death, the image they built is everywhere. The posters, the t-shirts, the coffee mugs, the Andy Warhol prints selling at auction for millions of dollars. Marilyn Monroe, the product, has never been more valuable. Norma Jeane, the woman, is still waiting to be seen.